Guys, Rod just checking in for June 8th. I'll try to make this quick. We are in the midst of efforts to save Jeunesse Park and build it better for the future. But first, I want to acknowledge you've got so many other concerns and matters on your plates trying to reopen church, uh, continue to keep your church together through the virus. We have racial tensions that we need to give prayer and attention to and what we can be participating in. We've got sexual gender matters in our state capital bills that are going through and just the morality of political matters on those fronts. So several have asked the question, in the midst of all this, why should we save Jeunesse? What's the use? If our state convention couldn't keep it together, how are we going to keep it together? So that's fair, and I'm glad those questions have been asked. We spent about 2.5 weeks before we attempted a decision to decide to go forward or lay it down and forget about it. And we started from the first saying decisions must be made through reason, not emotion. So we gathered facts, did interviews, had lots of conversations. One of the key outstanding things that was recognized as early as 15 years ago and prior that we saw in its history of things that were evolving in situations that were challenges that could have been handled a different way. And then overall things evolving to the point where it got to with Jeunesse is that there was never a board established for Jeunesse to give it ongoing supervision and guidance. Not that the people at the camp were bad, not that our people in the state office were bad. It was just an unfortunate but real structural oversight that evolved over these years that allowed many things to take place that would have been guided or changed or challenged and corrected if there had been an active, solid Christian board with gifted people giving that kind of oversight and working with directly the camp directors and leaders. So that's something we've realized. So why beyond that observation of a change that can be made that can make a different future for the camp? I just want to say the fact again, I've been here 13 years. I was here in my last pastorate to 97 in Los Banos and participated in camp during the 6 years we were serving at Calvary there, 91 to 97. Deep relationships are formed at camp between us as pastors and church members to church members throughout not just this association, but other associations that utilize the camp. So that's something that takes place because the whole atmosphere is God focused and Christ exalting, and we can be more real with one another. And just that affords us that time. We have 3 to 4 to 7 days of concentrated time we share. That's the equivalent of a year's efforts and programs at our churches. So that, then the fact that really camp allows churches a 12-month strategy for evangelism and discipleship. When we were in Texas in the 80s, we would spend the whole spring once we got out of the winter freezes down there, raising monies for kids to be taken to camp. And it built momentum and motivation and enthusiasm. We were able to invite more youth, more children into our ministries through that enthusiasm building towards camp. And then after camp, we were trying to reach into those homes, and it did afford us that opportunity of reaching more families and the parents of those children that went to camp over those next months. That work went on after camp had been completed in the middle of the summer. In the little church here at Merced, I say little, they were bigger at the time, but we would have campaigns. Our membership was here at Calvary Baptist starting in the fall, raising monies, building attention, building enthusiasm. For a couple of years, they took a whole busload, a rented bus up to Jeunesse Park of Youth, and many families, parents were reached through that. So camping affords a 12-month round calendar for evangelism and discipleship ministries, not just to children and youth, but to the parents of those youth that are reached through the efforts of the local church body. building camp and working camp, ramping up to it, and then following through after camp has been held and the commitments made there and going into those homes. Well, beyond that, there's young adults called into Christian service that are now leaders in our nation. Uh, I, th- I think we're going to be trying to post some videos during this next week or two on the SaveJeunesse.org website that's being built for this campaign. But our own son is in the Navy serving as a chaplain to the Marines and the Navy around the world because God called him at Jeunesse. Another associational missionary, Gil Della Rosa, down at Gold Coast, their son was also called between the junior and senior year, like our son, into the ministry as a pastor now down in the Riverside area, going into a church of about 12 that now has 700. So God has sent out workers all across our nation, literally around the world, from a one little spot camp. That's just what camp ministries mean to us. So it's a kingdom work and it's worth it. So that's why we're doing it. Please just ask your people to pray. If this is going to be saved, if it's going to be made better, God, only God. So first we must start in prayer. But if you can share with your people the opportunity, you can see on the website, we say first give your tithe to the church and then give to Jeunesse. But some people can give their stimulus checks, others have monies and savings of older teenagers that want to invest in the next generations. This gives them that opportunity. Thanks, guys, for listening this long. I know it's a little longer, but I just wanted to share these thoughts about what we're attempting in Christ's name. Thanks, guys, for all of your leadership in your churches and throughout our association and associations that hear this. Thanks. Bye.